Hello everyone, hope you're all well. I wanted to continue my legend series, and today I wanted to give South Africa's leading fast bowler in the 1960s, who was also the convener of selectors in the 90s for South Africa, and Graham Pollock's brother and the father of Shaun Pollock. I mean, I'm talking about Peter Pollock of South Africa. He was born 30th June 1941 in Pietermaritzburg in the Natal province of South Africa. I mean, Pietermaritzburg was very close to where I was living towards the end in South Africa. And he attended the Grey High School with the Graeme Pollock as well. I mean, one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, sporting school in South Africa. And both of them were obviously great players for South Africa. And he was a Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1966 as well. And Peter Pollock's autobiography is called God's Own Fast Bowler. He is a international evangelist, and is big into Christian belief these days for a long time. In all, he played 28 test matches for South Africa, and he took 116 wickets with 9 5-wicket hauls and 1 10-wicket haul. And in first class cricket, he took 485 wickets with 27 5-wicket hauls and 2 10-wicket hauls. And he also scored more than 3,000 runs in first class cricket, and many 50s as well. I mean, Peter Pollock obviously was an excellent fast bowler. He was very fast and aggressive, but he also was a very useful late order batsman. He was a talented late order batsman as well. And in his first test match, on his test debut against New Zealand in 1961 in Durban, he took 6 wickets in the second innings of New Zealand. So he had a very good start to his test career. And probably his most famous or most remembered display would be that 1965 Trent Bridge test match versus England, the test series, where in Trent Bridge Peter Pollock took 10 wickets in that match. He took 5 for 51 in the first innings, and 5 for 34 in the second innings. So therefore, he took 10 wickets in that match. And in that same match, his brother Graeme Pollock scored 125 in the first innings and 59 in the second innings. And South Africa went on to win that test, and with that, they also won the 3-test series. So it was a memorable performance by the Pollock brothers. I mean, really hugely talented Pollock brothers, very famous in South Africa. And Peter Pollock also played, I mean, first class cricket for Eastern Province a lot. I mean, he actually played all his first class cricket for Eastern Province. And he was very fast. I've read articles about him. He was very fast and he was difficult. And I've heard or read stories where he gave troubles to a lot of leading batsmen in the world, like Doug Walters, a lot of batsmen from Australia. I mean, a lot of them that Peter Pollock gave troubles as a fast bowler. If he had played more, I mean, if he had played around 100 test matches, I mean, he would have easily had 400 plus wickets and a lot of runs as well. So it's sad that, like a lot of other South African players of the era, like he was unfortunate to not play more Test cricket, and he was a major part. He played a major part in that whitewash of Bill Lawry's Australian team in 1969-70 when South Africa won 4-0. Bill Lawry's team had beaten India in India, and they came to South Africa, and South Africa clubbed them 4-0, and big wins as well. And that is when South Africa were banned from international cricket after that series, which was very sad. And Peter Pollock and Graeme Pollock was leading figures in that famous walk-off at Newlands, Cape Town in 1971, when they protested against apartheid and also the political interference in cricket. So it's a sad thing what happened to South African cricket after the ban. I mean, a lot of great players missed out on some of the wonderful careers they would have had. But Peter Pollock is widely respected around the world. And after retirement, he was the chairman of selectors for South Africa in the 90s. And there's a very funny incident that I want to share here. I read it in the Sports Star many years ago when I was very young and I was a big South African fan. That was in around 96, when Shaun Pollock was really making a mark, an impression, and he was almost getting his breakthrough into the South African team. And Peter Pollock, his father, was the convener of selector, and they were sitting around the table in the room for the selection of the series for against England in '96. And Shaun Pollock's name was there as well. And Peter Pollock, because it was his son, Peter Pollock told the other selectors that he will get out of the room and he will wait outside while they make the selection, because he didn't want to be look like he was biased and selecting his own son. So he said, I'll walk out from the room and I'll wait outside, you can select the team. And everyone had a big laugh, they said, because because Shaun Pollock was one of the most talented youngsters in South Africa, and he would have made that team anyhow. I mean, so even it didn't matter whether he was Peter Pollock's son, but it shows how much integrity Peter Pollock had. I mean, a lot of some players in some countries would have just sat there, and they would have wanted their son to be picked. But Peter Pollock, I mean, showing his true character and integrity there as well. I mean, that is a very big example for a lot of people. That is why I shared that here on this video. And like I said, I mean, he was a journalist as well. I mean, by the way, he was a journalist. He used to write a lot of cricket columns, Peter Pollock. And like I said, he's an international evangelist. He's big into Christian belief, and he's written a lot of books on cricket and Christian belief as well. So that is Peter Pollock after his retirement, and he was a big influence in South Africa in South African cricket, and very, very widely respected. Obviously, I mean, Graeme Pollock's brother. I mean, both of the Graeme Pollock was an absolute genius. Everyone knows his Peter Pollock's brother, and also being a father of Shaun Pollock as well. Shaun Pollock, I mean, who was the captain of South Africa later, and who achieved a lot in cricket, taking more than 400 wickets, and with the bat also, he was a fine all-rounder. So. Shaun and Peter Pollock and Graeme Pollock, I mean, their nephews also, a couple of their nephews also played first class cricket, and also for Leicestershire in the county championship as well. But obviously, the most famous Graeme Pollock's nephew was Shaun Pollock, and Peter Pollock's son, obviously. So that is my video on Peter Pollock, who was definitely one of the greatest South African legends, the South Africa's leading prime fast bowler, outright fast bowler in the 1960s, who was the Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1966, and who made such a big impression in the 28 Test matches he played, where he took 116 wickets with the 9 5-wicket hauls and 110 wicket haul. I mean, he would have achieved a lot more if he was able to play Test cricket. Anyway, that is my video for Peter Pollock. I mean, one of the greats of South African cricket, and someone who was widely respected around the world. Thank you, everyone. Take care. God bless you.